It's time.
All right, here we go.
The Cocktail Show.
Get ready to have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
This is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I like that.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Wow.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Cocktail Show.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary.
But wait, there's more.
I'm the guy.
Finger gun.
Gary Meier.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour Live.
Cocktails. Ooh, drinks.
We're streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central.
On Friday, April 12th, 2024. And of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. This past week, as part of my reporting on the Walt Disney World Resort for MousePlanet.com, Disney invited me to observe parts of this year's Disney Dreamers Academy. Since 2008, Disney Dreamers Academy has inspired more than 1,600 high school-age students from across the country by fueling their dreams and showing them a world of possibilities as they prepare for their futures. In the 17 years since the Academy launched, its graduates have gone on to become doctors, engineers, performing artists, entrepreneurs, and more. 100 Dreamers were selected from thousands of applicants who answered essay questions about their personal stories and dreams for the future. The selected students are primarily black teens and students from underrepresented communities. The Dreamers were hosted at the Walt Disney World Resort, accompanied by a parent or guardian, from April 3rd to April 7th, and attended empowerment sessions, interactive career-related sessions, and got to have some fun in the parks and resorts too. Celebrities and other professionals mentored Dreamers, guided them in workshops, and spoke to them at a commencement ceremony at the end of the program. Here, for example, is Damon John from ABC TV's Shark Tank.
And as you go out in life, I want to tell you one thing. You will never arrive. The end of every race is going to be the beginning of the next one. When you graduate high school, then you start college. When you graduate college, you got to work just as hard. By the way, when you get married, it's never happily ever after. You have to work at it. You young individuals in this room, you can eat pizza all day and sleep for 2 hours and look fantastic. When you get my age, oh, it doesn't happen. You never arrive.
The best way to watch this show is the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Please like and share the show on all the social media channels.
Comments during the live show, wherever we are streaming, can be seen in our virtual studio.
And we may show them on the screen
and or talk about them.
That's good. Disappeared.
Ooh.
And that's it.
Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live.
Here we go. The following may be disturbing on America's podcast. Boom. Shakalaka. Finger gun. Welcome to the Cocktail Show. Hello, Mr. Letterman. Hello. I'm your host, Gary Miller, and I'm hoping for no goo, but I'll tell you what, I've had a couple sips of my Manhattan, and it must be the tail of the eclipse. It's really hitting me already. And I'm telling you that tail of the eclipse is affecting a lot of people that I've talked to. It might be affecting you. It's not over. I'm giving myself a week for the tail to go through, but I'm not sure a week's going to do it. Yeah, that's what made the sun its biatch. And when that happens, I studied this 7 years ago, and things were goofy, witchy, and they're still witchy now. And I'm going to give you some examples. And Ryan, the Wisconsin reporter, is a prime example of how things have gone witchy for him and other people around him. But first, I have to kick the tires. There they are. Let's light up that rubber. One more sequence has to happen on the Cocktail Show. Leslie has to remove something. What would that something be?
Just this. The wine condom off the top of a bottle of Josh Chardonnay. So
that was my.
And look at that. Look, we've got We've got build-up, kids.
Yeah, that was my radio name in Napa. Okay, this looks like it's going to pop. We shall see. 3, 2. Well, that had a nice
that was
trajectory.
a nice one.
Yeah.
Cheers,
all right.
everybody.
Well, cheers.
Can I point out something before we get too far into the show?
No.
The opening, the recorded opening, ends with boom shaka
laka.
But it doesn't. It ends with boom shaka. And
Really?
I have started saying the laka in my head. I can't help it. I wonder if the rest of you... Is anybody else locking along with me? If so,
I did not notice that, but here's what I did notice on the opening, and I need Ellen to clear it up. What is that Z town that you have on the billboard?
Gee, Garry, you quote Shawshank Redemption all the time.
All right, I was going to say, is that from Shawshank Redemption? I've not seen it.
Get busy quacking, which is get busy living, and Zihuatanejo.
Okay,
where are you going to find your fortune?
I've never seen it spelled out. That's all. And yeah, so that's what's going on there. Okay, got that cleaned up. I want to see Todd as soon as we can get him. Is Todd Pickering still available for some live appearances?
His schedule on Fridays is tough.
Yeah. Okay. I miss Todd. Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. I'll send him a clip.
Yeah, please. Okay.
But we do have some guests coming, though, right?
Yes, I was going to say, wait. Let's solo you up and have you beg, and I'll send that right to Todd. Go ahead.
Todd, please. I don't know what happened between us, but come back. We miss you. I love you in the opening, but we need some live Todd. Live. Come on, brother.
Perfect. I'll send him that.
That should work.
Next week, I will talk to Karen Conti. She is an author and a lawyer, and she has this book called Killing Time with John Wayne Gacy. You remember who that is? One of the
so many killers this week in the news.
Well, he's one of the most diabolical. He was a guy
and
who in the 70s.
Go ahead.
What's
finish
that?
The story here. Go ahead. Finish the story, and then I'll try.
I was going to say he was. If you don't know this story, back in the late 70s, he killed and buried men in his crawl space.
Young
and
men,
other places. Most of them in his crawl space. About 33, I believe, was the final total.
33 victims. I was at a book signing with Karen recently with our friend Eric the Undertaker, who we also haven't seen in quite a while because he's been very, very busy. But he didn't want John Wayne Gacy to get all the attention, so he made up these special cards in memory of the 33 victims. So while John's getting some attention, so were the victims. So you got to hand it to Eric the Undertaker. He knows how to.
Let me ask you, how is a book signing at a funeral home?
Very interesting. First and foremost, this funeral home used to be the Tinley Park Library. This is a southwest suburban Chicago suburb. Southwest suburban Chicago.
Suburb.
Anyway.
That's like limousine limo.
PCBY yogurt. Yeah. Anyway.
That's 8 a.m. in the morning.
So the funeral home used to be the Tinley Park Library. And now when you walk in, it doesn't feel like your classic funeral parlor, no heavy drapes, none of that stuff. It's kind of a lighter, brighter approach to death that they have going on there. But it was really fascinating. It seemed like a very appropriate place to have a book signing with Karen. And the book is fascinating. She was so young, and she was the lawyer for his appeals process. So he was already found guilty by the time she got on the scene. But even so, she had a lot of really personal time with this psychopath.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you can be in the orbit of somebody that diabolical. Now, I've started reading the book, and the initial contact that she had with Gacy was him asking her and her law partner, who was her husband. He's the late husband of Karen.
Right.
And that was to give him some advice on his First Amendment rights, because the prison didn't want him selling his paintings or profiting off of all of those murders. And he said he had a right to. And that's where she entered. Now, maybe that switched along the way and she became his appeals lawyer. But that initially is how it started in the book. I'll see. I haven't, like I said, I haven't gotten through the whole book yet. But anyway, she'll fill in all the blanks next week.
You're one of those crazy interviewers who actually does some homework before you bring a guest onto the show. Mind-blowing.
I'd love to sit here and talk nonsense and banal things with people, but that don't do no good to nobody. Okay.
But for years, Garry, you said we were not the podcast about serial killers, and now we're joining the ranks.
I didn't say that. I said we don't do politics.
Right.
No, you said that there are a million podcasts out there.
He's right. He's right. But I've known Karen for a long time. We worked on the same radio station, and I'm curious to see how you interface with some kind of piece of crap human being like that up close. But you're right, Ellen. You are right.
Crap human beings in the past. No, I'm kidding.
And speaking of that, we're going to talk about OJ in just a minute. You're right, Alan. I have always said, hey, there are millions of podcasts that talk about serial killers. We don't do that, but they talk about serial killers every day. We do it very infrequently, like just once so far next week. Okay.
Tundra Blitz says a guy I worked with went to a birthday party where Gacy was the clown.
Yeah, he was a birthday clown, and that's, I think, how he roped some of these guys in. My God, I'll never forget them taking the bodies out of his house. It's really, it's hard to believe you can do that and nobody notices living next door. Nothing was out of sync. See, if I'm living next door, you know me, I'm not Mrs. Kravitz, but I'm going to notice things.
There were
I know
two
that
young
sounds
men
like
who shared the house during some of this too.
Yeah.
Once again, I'll let Karen tell this. She will weave a tale that you definitely want to be here for.
But until then, let me strap on the screen door. Let's start from the top. And that would be Keely-Ann with my Schnauzer and I are celebrating National Only Child Day.
Oh.
Is that really today? Is that a thing?
Is it?
Okay.
Well, each of us has an only child, so shout out to our babies.
There you go. And I should have been listening. I didn't listen to Sirius XM today. One of the music channels, they do that all the time with celebrity birthdays. I missed that.
Darn it.
Who else is in here? We got Martin, British Columbia, always here every week. And Bradley in AZ, Scottsdale, 92. Is that good in April that it's 92 already?
Seems a little warm already.
Yeah, it's sunny. I'll give you that. That's good. Love the sun. Good. 92 in April. Brian from the house band, oh yes. Be sure to aerate your lawn and your Schnauzer. Good for both to get a little air. Yep. Good point, Brian. Hope to hear from you guys soon. We will. Dale, Wheatfield, Indiana. Indiana licking its wounds with the Purdue loss.
Oh.
And Linda, hey now. A simple hey now. Good to see you.
Hey now, hey now.
David, let the sun shine in on the Schnauzer. Spring has finally sprung for good. Hello from Oaklawn, Illinois. Well, depending on where you live, maybe, but the two seasons are going to fight each other for a while.
It was raining about an hour ago. Now it's sunny. They say that the temperature is probably going to jump at double digits in the next couple hours.
Yeah, it's crazy time.
Yeah.
Dale says he's DB Cooper. Do you know who DB Cooper is?
I do. Well,
Yes.
I mean, not technically, because then I would be in on the crime. But DB
If he in
Cooper,
fact
of course.
existed,
Right.
or whatever that tale turned out to be. You want to tell this story? What happened back in the early 70s?
This is a man who boarded a commercial airliner and then kind of took it over and demanded that he be given. It was only like look at us, only six
figures.
But a briefcase full of money, and then the plane got back up in the air, and then he jumped out of the aircraft over Washington State or Oregon, somewhere along the Northwest, and never was seen again.
Yep.
Lots of people seem to have found money along certain waterways. A lot of people have claimed to be DB in the past, but I think Dale's as good a guess as any thing right
Well,
now.
welcome, DB. Glad to have you on board.
Hey.
All right, Samantha where is she from? I think she's
Indeed.
from.
Checking in. She's just
Yes.
checking in.
If my memory serves me, and sometimes it does, I'm going to say Mundelein, Illinois, Samantha, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure at this point.
He's good at this, though.
Mike and Pat, Lake Barrington, Illinois. That's the home of the Oh Yes barn that Matt from Oh Yes, that's his barn, and that's where they come to us from. And Marysville, Ohio, Tom and Deb checking in. All right. Good to see y'all.
They've been winners. I think each of them has won one of our Friday giveaways in the past. So
yeah, and we do that every week.
When we got some good stuff for you today.
We'll highlight it soon. And Turtle Bean, Donna, Anthony, Doggy Boy. What does that message say with Doggy?
I had a college friend who was picked to be a member of the media pool to watch the execution of John Wayne Gacy. Well, there's some entertainment for you. Ooh, wow. And I think I'm not doing any kind of spoiler alert here, but Karen, despite having dealt with John in all of these later days, was not there for the execution.
I even gotten to that point, and it's said in the early pages of the book that it's not uncommon and pretty much standard that the lawyer of the criminal is present for the execution, but for some reason they did not let her attend.
No.
And again, I'm early in the book. We'll get all these loose ends straightened out next Friday. All right, and scene. Okay. Not only did OJ cack this week, so did the Golden Bachelor's marriage after 3 months.
Who could have imagined?
What do you think happened there where they're all excited about the attention, getting the TV time, and then that's over, and now they're living together and they're looking at each other. This is it?
He spends 45 minutes in the bathroom just to go poop. You know, it's those sort of realities, I'm sure.
Right.
When the lights got turned off and the cameras turned off. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a TV show and you said you were in love with each other, but you were just kind of moving along for the cameras, and then reality sets in. 3 months. How about that?
This is what happens on vacations. Because you're in like that blissful environment, and everything's going to be pool decks and endless mini bars and things like that. And then,
Yep. Well, that's too bad.
So do they bring them back in some form or another for a take 2?
Yeah. Okay. This kind of wrecks they were going to do another golden couple.
Right.
But this has to crimp that a little bit. Tundra Blitz says they think OJ ditched the murder weapon near where Gacy's house was. They've torn down that house. His house was near O'Hare International. If you remember the story, OJ flew to Chicago right after the murders because he had some kind of appearance scheduled.
Right.
And there were claims that people saw him going into some woods around the airport. But they never recovered any weapons.
He stayed in that hotel over Cumberland, Bryn Mawr, somewhere
near the airport.
Right there by the airport, yeah.
And is that the North Branch of the Chicago River or the Des Plaines River? Whatever. Still haven't found it, though.
Had OJ on the phone for an interview about 2-3 years after he was acquitted with the murders, but then he got dinged on the civil lawsuit. And I asked him, I said, hey, you said you were going to look for the killer or killers of your wife and Ron Goldman. How's that going? And he tap danced all around that.
There were some funny comments online yesterday. If he's too calm, you must embalm was one of my favorite. What were like, oh, now we finally will he'll be able to find the murderer, or all those kind of
all those
nasty
things that people do,
yes.
that gallows humor. And I measure all deaths on how important they are by the death of Tina Turner, because she got 8 minutes at the start of the newscast with David Muir after she died. OJ logged 7 at the start of, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, keeping
Close.
track. Oh,
Close.
yeah. But he had like a whole trial, and there was a
Yeah, I
lot of
know,
footage.
but
Once again, let's figure that a lot of this is based on the footage that they
Yeah.
can pull up. So
they showed the slow speed chase and him trying the glove on, and oh my God.
The other thing I delighted in today was a compilation of Norm Macdonald jokes from SNL, the jokes that got him kicked off of NBC. And God, he was merciless toward OJ, as well he should have been. But
wasn't that because the head of NBC was a friend of OJ's? Wasn't
I
that the
think
dynamic?
well, it's a small community, that Hollywood community. And
Yeah.
Yeah, he did write the book.
Right. If I did it, remember?
If I did it.
What the?
Well, you psychopathic.
And how did it end
MFer.
in his book? Who did it in his book at the end there?
Didn't bother to give
Yeah.
him the money for
If
it.
I did do it, this is what I would have done. What?
Oh, and that's the other joke that everybody's talking about, is the funeral procession is going to be led by a slow traveling white Bronco. And yeah, so.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, the tale, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, of the eclipse, I'm giving myself a week on it. It might not go away then. But I was talking to Ryan this week, and he's this poor guy. He's had a week. Ryan, why don't you jump on now, and maybe this will help if you can verbalize some of this angst.
I've had a week, and if Alan puts that picture up real quick, this is a stock photo because I wasn't home. But that's the seat. It's the same position of the car. That's the car. That's the.
Okay, explain what happened this week.
My wife and some friends went to the Brewer game. The young man ate a bunch of Skittles and cotton candy and probably soda. Him and Hank got all the way in the back of the third row of my wife's seat and vomited all over. So all over the floor, all over that seat that has little tiny holes in it. So the vomit went in there, all over the seatbelt, kind of crevices. It's a nightmare.
This is a friend of Hank's.
Well, it's a friend of my wife's that they have a young
son. The mother brought her son. The friend of your wife brought his son. He gets sick, and you're out of town doing your job, and you hear about this. Now you get back, and now you're spending hours trying to clean this.
I'm spending hours. I gave up, and then ended up taking it to a detailer. They got it visually okay, but it still smells like vomit.
Really?
Yeah. So we're gonna probably dump the car.
Wow.
So
it's just thrown off the whole. I mean, everything's just kind of astray, and she's not right. She's upset. I'm pissed off, and yeah. And I'm usually not that person. I think Leslie said that. You're so not that person, and this week it's just been all jumbled.
From the moment he logged on this afternoon, you could like smell the angst coming off of him, like the vomit in the back seat of a car.
Oh,
but question: do you have to disclose that somebody has?
No, that's just if somebody was murdered in your car.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna make
like
it
a
smell
house.
good.
There are laws,
and take it to a.
Of course, this was already a Seinfeld episode when the person had BO and the O stayed with the car, not the, and he tried to sell it, he couldn't, and then he tried to have it stolen, and the crook got in the car because he threw the keys in right in the view of the crook, and the crook gets in the car, and you see him take a inhale and make a face, and that's the freeze frame end of the episode.
Now that was a little plot line in Curb Your Enthusiasm this final season. So Larry was taking some of the old Seinfeld stuff, since he co-created Seinfeld, and put it into Curb. And the gist of it in Curb was he bought some cheese. He brought it to his friend Jeff's house, but he was going somewhere and he didn't want to leave it in the car, so he put it in their refrigerator, but then they ate it. Jeff and his wife Susie ate it. So then he goes back to the cheese place, gets another big wedge of cheese, puts it in the back seat on the floor, forgets about it. And Richard Lewis buys this. This is the, what was the thing here? Richard Lewis bought this car, and I'm not remembering some of this, but that is the Manhattan and the Eclipse. But here's the bit. Richard's real wife did a cameo in this episode, gets in the car, and this is their first date in the Curb episode, and she gets in and she takes 2 whiffs and goes, "This car stinks. I can't go out with you." And that's that.
And Richard's story in the episode was that he was nose blind because of COVID.
Oh.
Right. That he couldn't smell it.
So he didn't smell anything.
And
And
I
Steve
had
Buscemi
Wait,
sold them the car
you just talked to her, right?
last night.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God.
talked to Richard's
Okay,
wife last
this
night
is
about
the
that.
Eclipse
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Oh.
and she said, "Boy, I was really nervous doing that scene because I'm not an actress. We did 3 takes, and they were happy with it, and that was that." And but at least she got to do that. And all of these episodes were filmed a year and a half ago. I mean, this has been done for a long time, because I started talking to Richard last summer about, hey, when's, because I didn't have the official start date of the last season. So I wanted to get ahead of it and said, hey, why don't you come on and talk about the last season? He said, well, as soon as they announce when they're going to start airing, and then the months were going by. And then finally they said, oh, it's going to be in early spring. And so then, as if you followed what we've been talking about the last few weeks, I had Richard scheduled on a Friday. He got a hold of me on a Thursday and said, I'm not really able to do it. I'm kind of weak. Bop, bop, bop. And so I said, okay, let me get back to you in a couple of weeks. And on the Wednesday, I'm getting ready to text him to say, hey, can you do this particular Friday? My friend Dan calls and goes, did you hear Richard Lewis died? And I'm talking to his wife, Joyce, last night. And I know when I saw him in one of the episodes, I couldn't believe, because I hadn't seen him in a while. And it was a stark reminder of how bad he had gotten over the last year since I had last seen him.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you couldn't not help notice his look. It was just, whoa, took your breath away. And yeah. So
speaking of taking your breath away, so the car, despite all the detailing, still and windows have been kept open.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that it's a loss, except that Scott from Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectibles wants to know how much you want for it.
We'll talk after. But my dad reminds me that when he was a kid, parts of the family didn't like each other, and they went to a funeral, and someone opened their car, put Limburger cheese on the manifolds, and then they turned the heat on, and all the men's suits got covered with that, wrecked the car, wrecked the suits. So that was his story he talked to me about and said, it could be worse.
I think I'm remembering this now. Richard wanted to buy this Mercedes from Steve Buscemi, and it had cigarette odor in it.
Oh.
So they wanted, Larry and Richard went to negotiate with Buscemi, and they wanted a discount.
Is this Buscemi playing Steve Buscemi?
No, he's playing another character.
Okay.
And Buscemi didn't want to give him a discount. And I think I'm remembering it. And then he finally, he didn't give them the discount. Richard bought the car, and Larry, I can't think straight right now. It's I said this all week.
Welcome to the club.
Get the storyline straight. I mean, oh my God. Oh.
It's the Eclipse talking.
Just be glad I'm not your pilot tonight, so to speak. Okay.
Speaking
so anyway,
of pilots, we did have a story this week about a pilot who went kind of berserk, and it plays right into
to yell at the
another one of
passengers.
Gary's biggest pet peeves, and that's the dress down of society. Your belief obviously is that a person should dress for the job. So in this case, you want to see a pilot dressed like a pilot. You don't want to see them in their street clothes.
Or
you are not alone.
cargo shorts and flip-flops. I look in the cockpit, I see that. I'm not getting a good feeling. The story was, it was a female pilot, right?
Correct.
Who came on in her street clothes because she was late and said she didn't have time to change into her uniform.
Right.
And then people were like, what's this? And she got wind of that and came out into the fuselage.
The cabin.
And starts yelling at the passengers.
Exactly.
What?
Because do you want to leave now, or you want to wait till I get into my cute little uniform? And now people are really going, holy shit, maybe she's not having the kind of day that we want her to be having prior to piloting our aircraft. And yeah, eventually she left the airplane. Everybody was delayed, and so
okay,
you can smell the angst coming off of people sometimes, Ryan.
You got to have a dress code, because left to their own devices, a lot of people they can't do it right. They're a mess. And this is what's happening as the casual Fridays started to bleed into the rest of the week, and now it's casual every day. And see what's happened to society? It's all falling apart. I'll never forget this meeting I had with the CEO of this large corporation. And I'm thinking, wow, this guy, he's in charge of all these radio stations or one radio station, the one I was on, and many TV stations. And I thought, this is going to be interesting. And I walk in, he's in a flannel shirt and blue jeans. Now, some people, they can pull it off. He turned out to be the exact replica of his clothing. He didn't. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it says something. I mean, it. I'm sorry, but when you see somebody in an important position and they're a slob,
no respect.
Right? Turtle Bean suggests that you use Lumi.
All right, that's the best comment of the week.
That is the best thing I've.
Okay, Turtle Bean for
That's
the
really
save.
freaking funny.
Yeah, he gets the dunk. Okay, that's great.
Oh,
yes,
Lord.
because that, according to the woman who does the commercial, who invented it, it gets rid of all stink. Now, these other products are going for this, and it's, if I see one more bad armpit, I'm going to shoot the TV like Elvis.
On top of that, who is the marketing genius who is convincing people that even if you shower every day, that you smell like shite?
Yes.
And that you
But they're
need
all
this
going for
all
that.
over.
The one that is even worse is the one we've been talking about, where it's for your armpits and they kind of bleep it out, but she's got her sweatpants pulled open and she's pointing down to her vajayjay, and I'm thinking, don't do this. Please don't do it. And the armpits are. I've seen. How many armpits are you looking at now?
Too many.
And they're all
I'm
bad.
not a fan of armpits, even if they've been bleached and shaved and everything else. Armpits are still armpits.
Someone said I should get Gwyneth Paltrow's candle too. That would be a better smell.
There, that's a great suggestion.
Thank you, everybody. See,
yes.
Ryan, there's no need for all the angst.
Yes, I will head down that road.
You're driving around with a Paltrow candle lit in your car.
But what was their commercial? I think it was for VW or something, where you don't put the lavender relaxation candles, because then everybody's falling asleep in the car. That's not good.
There you go.
Nice fire log.
There you go. How about that?
Well, and you've had some other odd moments over the past several days too, since the eclipse, right?
Yeah, it's just been wacky. I mean, I said even today, Henry got sort of in trouble today, but he got okay because he broke up a playground fight. Said, well,
that was a good thing, but then he got admonished for touching somebody. You can't touch somebody.
Right. But she was proud of him because he stood up and broke up a fight. And I thought, wow. And he said, I had to physically pull him apart. And I thought, huh?
But then you can't touch. It's catch-22.
Yes, it is. It's like when you're one of those stores where you see the employees apprehend the thief or try to, and then they get fired because they're against their policy.
Because you're not supposed to,
same thing.
Well, they say if somebody's breaking into your house and you shoot them, if you can do that in whatever state, and they fall outside, drag them inside because you're legally better off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just been a week. It's just like, and then Henry said, I raised my hand at lunch. You were supposed to be there to help out on Wednesday. And I totally blew that off. And it's just, as I said, usually I'm not that.
You just forgot.
I just forgot. And I didn't remember till I came home and Henry said, you didn't show up today, Dad. What's your problem? I said, well, you know this car thing.
It's the eclipse. Blame it on the eclipse.
And they weren't able to watch. Watched the eclipse. Go ahead.
You weren't?
No, they weren't because the Archdiocese of Milwaukee said it wasn't safe for the kids to go out. And then I don't know if Henry raised his hand or another kid raised their hand and said, you're depriving us of our childhood memories by doing this because we got to wait 25 more years.
20 years.
20 years.
Wow. That's the kind of kid I would be in that class. Hey, I
raised their hand and said, hey,
I got some memories I'm making here.
Not today.
Okay, I was going to reference another Curb episode. Now I lost my train of thought on that. It was going somewhere about, what were we talking about? Wow.
Everything.
Yeah.
So much.
Oh my God. Okay. It's in and out. I mean, I don't know if I should be concerned if this is a temporary thing or it's the Manhattan. Wow.
Blame it on the Manhattan and the eclipse. That's good enough.
Okay.
Is that the real Manhattan or the mix?
That's a real one. In fact, my wife made this one tonight and made it extra strong because we are looking to have Santa Claus stay with us, if I can borrow all of that scene from Miracle on 34th Street, where they're trying to find a place for Kris Kringle to stay until they get the psychiatric thing sorted out. And then Mr. Schottenheimer or Shellhammer or whatever works at Macy's. And he's asked to accommodate Kris Kringle for a night or two. And then he goes home and gets his wife drunk and then puts her, oh, Jesus. Really? This is I feel like I'm silly stringing. I just feel silly string. Oh my God. Really? You might want to leave that up, Alan. It's whoa.
You guys, seriously.
I know.
As I said, I've never seen you both so at sixes and sevens before. Oh my goodness. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And the cat's destroying the prize package. So this is good times.
All right. You were on a road trip last week for spring break with Hank. You went to Branson and you sent Leslie and I each a nice postcard. You don't get those much anymore. Now this Fudge Factory, is this legit or is this just a joke postcard?
No, you go in there and you open the door and they say, "Welcome to Uranus," and all the employees yell that.
Wow. So they're leaning into the whole we're in Uranus. It's Uranus, really, but they are going and they're thinking, okay, and we're a fudge factory. And on the bottom of the postcard, it says the best fudge comes from Uranus. And I'm thinking, I understand you're trying to play with this, but wow.
WGN Morning News was playing with it too. I think they gave Paul Conrad a T-shirt from there.
They got
do they have like a bar that you can belly up to? Because they
but they have wine. They sell wine, alcohol. I mean, they play into everything. It's all
let us push in your stool. Is that?
Oh my God! Look at you working it
at any point. Sorry.
So it's just tchotchkes full of innuendos with that on it.
Did you get the fudge?
Jamie got the fudge. I didn't get the fudge.
You taste it?
That's what
she said it was okay. I didn't. She said it was okay.
Okay, Leslie, you're not far behind us in your.
But we did get my mom fudge at Buc-ee's. We didn't get it at Uranus, but we got it at Buc-ee's on the way home. So.
And how's the Buc-ee fudge?
Oh, Buc-ee's is just wonderful. That place is fun.
Okay, good. All right, we have some pictures.
We do,
and I want to start with okay. I love our listeners, our viewers, because they send us stuff, and a lot of it is ready to use, perfectly formed, like the Lumi thing. That's what our listeners do. They tip it in so nicely. Listener viewer Tom sent this picture of the twin heads, No,
And
that's
you
not
added one.
Okay, we can show
Those
this.
are twin heads.
Okay, the twin head.
Wait a
Sorry, I
minute.
thought you were
Leave
going
that
down
up.
the
Leave that up. That's Flynn, our dog Flynn on the left with his glasses, and then
Oh,
the
look
two
at you being
schnauzers. Now
protective.
I forgot the name of the person whose schnauzers those are. If you're watching, please tell me. Was it Tracy? Was it Deborah? Was it Paula? Who was it?
I assume it was someone of the female persuasion based
It
on
is.
where
I
you're
know
going
that. I know
here
it was
with
a
that.
female, but I can't remember the name. And tonight
A
is the night.
female schnauzer.
So yeah, those are the dogs all ready for the eclipse, and we
And
love.
then I added this one.
Okay. Nice.
So, but
Okay.
yes, I can find you the picture you were referring to if you want to.
All right, Tom,
Pull it
listener
up.
Tom, I did
Pull it
write
off,
his name.
Alan.
He's the one that sent the St. Patrick's Day Photoshop of Leslie, me, and Jenna, official bartender of the GarrForce. Can we put this full frame? Let's put this full frame. Okay. I'll flip for who gets carnal knowledge tonight. Okay. I can't see the second. Read the comments, please.
It's hard to read. I'm going to try to see if I can.
Okay. Heads.
I win, tails
you
you
lose.
lose. I assume, yes. Wait, one
Damn
damn
minute.
minute.
And Jerry, who is apparently in on this, says, wait a minute now. Thank you, Tom, for doing that. And we were talking about the conjoined twins because one of them got married.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that. And then we were curious as to how one can get married and the other is sitting there or whatever they're doing there while there's carnal knowledge.
Well, and I've been seeing where anybody who has those thoughts should be ashamed of themselves.
Yes.
And
Garry.
There's something terribly wrong with you for going and Wikipediaing these things and trying to figure things out. It's none of your business. MYOB, mind your own business.
And we have more conjoined twins news.
Well,
there was a death in the conjoined twins family. 62-year-old, what are their names?
Lori and George. It used to be Lori and Dory, but Dory now identifies as George. And once again, any of you with thoughts, you keep them to yourself.
Wait a minute.
So
they were born male, female, and then one got
females.
A sex change? They're born two
females.
God.
Lori
my God.
and Dory.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
Just keep
really,
swimming.
Can you imagine?
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. What?
Okay. Yeah. You talk about a bad deck of cards. How do you go through? It's 62 years they did this. Right. Put that picture up again, please. How do you go through life like this?
Because it's the life you know.
Okay, but how do you even do that?
You know, there are Kardashians looking at you and me and going, how do you live a life like
how do you
that?
all,
You just
how
have
do you low
Friday.
Libyans get through a day?
Exactly. You only drink Manhattans and wine.
Right.
Damn it. Yeah.
And the one guy can't even remember half the shit he's talking about, the details. Okay. Okay, going back to OJ, it's because of the OJ trial they have the Kardashians. Because their father was one of the lawyers.
Right.
And that's where that was birthed.
Yes. And Chris was a really good friend with Nicole. I mean, like they were besties. And there have been rumors throughout the years that Chloe looked a whole lot like OJ as opposed to her biological father. So, golly.
But it wouldn't be her biological father if it wasn't her
father.
Well,
the one that we... wait, why am I blanking at? Look at
it.
See,
you're as bad as we are.
Well, but this was 20-some freaking years ago. Of course, I don't care. I'm proud that I came up with the fact that it's Khloe freaking Kardashian and not one of the other K names out there.
All right, Scott has declared us shock jocks.
Not
I don't know
this
what we are.
This is the news. This is network news these days.
Hey, shit happens. And that's why we drink on Fridays.
I got a couple more here. This is the one
All
from
right.
this week. I think you put on Facebook.
Yeah, I had this on my Facebook page. This actually happened. This dog was on a news program and shit on the desk. And I love this. This is one of my favorite photos of the week. Because I would watch the local and national news more if this dog was there and commenting on all the stories.
You want a puppy on the ABC evening news?
Yes.
Every
Right.
day.
I want it right next to David Muir. And when they do the stories that they do, which half, if not most of them, are bullshit and not even relevant to most of us, the dog just goes, "Gonna take
There
a
you
dump
go.
here. David, over here, taking a dump here, boss. Taking a dump."
I'd rather have that in the car than vomit, I think.
That really has just messed with your
It
world.
has. It has.
Well, Leslie, you and I, being the super clean weirdos we are, you know how that would set us off if that happened in our cars.
And
It
that's
actually did occur in our car years ago when my daughter, and this was post breakfast, so there was some milkiness and our daughter like just lost it in the back seat. And thank God that my husband was such a car guy. He honestly had to disassemble the entire freaking thing and lift carpet and remove the back seat, and it was a trial. So I get it on every level.
We all get it. Hey, my good friend Wayne is in the comment section, and I was talking to him the other day, and he was in the military, and they had what you call a credo, a catchphrase, whatever. Embrace the suck. Motto. Embrace the suck.
Oh.
Okay, whatever.
There you go.
Okay, that's a nice thing to have in your repertoire. Embrace the suck.
That should be our tag for today's giveaway. Embrace the suck.
And in the opening, Alan showed us what was going on at Disney World with the Dreamers. I'm a dreamer. I'm a young black teen. I'm a dreamer, aren't I?
You're
No.
not a black teen, Gary.
I'm not?
Sorry. Now
Holy
it is the
shit.
Manhattan talking.
Yeah, that look at how much I have to go yet, and I'm already wow. I guess I won't be driving the school bus tonight.
No, you're going to be sitting in the bucket in the backyard. I know you.
But I knew this was going to happen. I knew early in the day because this is the last 48 hours have been the weirdest in a while. I'm just like completely, what the hell's going on? I need to hold on to something. The world is spinning and I don't get it. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm the Lone Ranger on this or everybody's going through this because it's been crazy time.
So if we put up the next picture, that'll make you feel better, Gary. This was sent, I believe, by a listener too.
Oh, yeah. This is Lloydster. He sent this screen door. Every so often, where you can hear a wooden screen door slam, memory is a powerful thing. Yeah.
Yes.
The screen door. The screen door is so good for summer. You got to have a screen door.
I was in... and it had a hook and eye latch.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what they always put on screen doors.
Yeah.
And there was something about it as I closed that little thing and went, oh.
All right. We're going to take care of some business, and then you have a recorded
I do.
Wisconsin report that we'll play. And then we have to set up the giveaway, what we're giving away, what the phrase is going to be.
I have to recover the shit that the cat threw on the floor. So
that's literally not part of the giveaway.
Stuff. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. First of all, Bettenhausen Automotive. We love them.
Feel the power shot at Bettenhausen Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on 159th Street in Tinley Park. Dodge Power Shot days roll on with $6,250 total cash on Dodge Challenger RT and $6,200 on Charger RT. Lease a new 2024 Ram 1500 DT Bighorn Crew for $449 per month, or lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $349 per month. Showroom never closes at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
Hello, Mr. Letterman. Hello. I want a Ram truck. I really do. I got to have a Ram truck. That looks so sweet. I want to be like in Yellowstone. All those guys drive Ram trucks. I want to be a cowboy. Is that wrong?
No, that's good.
Ooh. How about Mr. Hochberg and his team to get you a mortgage, a refi, any of that stuff? Free consultation, free. The numbers are on the screen for the free consultation. This man will save you money when you're buying a house or refinancing or whatever. You like saving money? I thought
Yes,
you did.
please.
Yes. Love him.
And mortgage rates, I think, are in
I
a
know.
weird state of flux right now. And there's no one who's going to get you through this in the big picture better than David,
No.
because there's always a time to buy. And then there's a time to reassess the situation down the road a piece. And
Right.
that's what David will do for you.
He is the guy. There's a lot of financial erotica out there that you got to wade through. Have you heard about this new thing called the senior assassin? I'm seeing stories about
it's
this.
not new. This has been going on for a long time.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No.
You know what this, Ryan doesn't know.
I have no idea.
It's a game that seniors play here. Senior high schoolers play at
Senior
the
high
end of the year.
schoolers, not senior citizens.
No, senior citizens.
They could. In my
maybe-
new nursing homes, they will.
Dude, that would be a perfect game for your nursing home, along with the animals
Screen
that you
doors.
trotted through and the screen
Heart
doors.
blowing through the ventilation system. Yes.
Exactly.
Animals
Just like-
walking down the hallway on Tuesdays.
This week, Leslie sent a text to let me know OJ was dead, and the only thing I could think of is she named the woodpecker that she talked about, and she went out and killed it.
No. So I have had a problem with a woodpecker of late. And
Hey.
he sits at the top of my chimney, which has a metal cap on it, and then just goes at it. And
That's
it's
a metal
loud.
pecker. That's wrong.
I did send video out. But yeah, they are irritating. But anyway, so Senior Assassin is this game that kids play in high school at the end of the year when they're bored. You know, you just need something to blow off some steam. So they play this game, and it involves using squirt guns. And they pick teams, or they pick, certain people, and it's your job to assassinate them in public places. And sometimes it involves kids dressing up in gear, but either way, they ambush a fellow student, maybe at their job or in a restaurant or something like that, and they come in and hit them with squirt guns. Well, apparently some of these kids have done these things in public places where people are not aware of the game.
I think it's a real gun.
And they think it's real guns. And in one case recently, a person with concealed carry actually was ready to pull their own weapon, fearing that this was a true assault. And no, it's just all for fun. So if something like that happens, flip a coin, because who knows? It could be a real attack, or it could just be a bunch of high schoolers. But take a breath, and before you start shooting, that would be a good thing.
Great. All right. Ryan, let's go to your recorded report. What do you say? Here we go. It's Wisconsin, yeah, hey.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Wisconsin. It's been a few weeks since we've had a recorded report, and I have a few things to share with you. If you've been listening this week, Garry shared that we had a little incident where someone vomited in the back seat of my wife's car. That experience has changed how I look at traveling and what I bring in the car. From now on, I'm following the airline's lead and bringing vomit bags. Make sure you have some in the back, in the middle, and the front, along with some paper towels and all other needed cleaning supplies. Needless to say, I worked on the car. I had it professionally detailed. Visually, it looks fine. Otherwise, if you do get in it, it smells like vomit. So we're still trying to decide what we're going to do. Are we going to sell it? Are we going to tear the seat out and just have one less seat for the third row? I'm not real sure, but If you ever had to deal with that in a car, it's not pleasant. The good thing is it's not 90 degrees here in Wisconsin. So I'll let you know how it fares, but it's been a tough week. Switching gears a little bit, we've talked in the past about body parts washing up on the shore. Well, this week, Milwaukee made national news where on April 2nd, a body part, specifically a leg, was found in a park. And then the next day at another location, another body part, I think it was another hand, and so on and so forth. Well, they ended up finding a suspect and tying the body parts to a missing woman in Milwaukee. So there are body parts that wash up or can be found that do tie back. But I know many times they wash up with a boot and they say, I don't know whose boot that is. Or you find a wing off a plane and they say, oh, that's not the missing Malaysia flight. I hope you have a great weekend and we'll all talk soon.
Okay, Ryan, you're like David Muir. You talk about something and then you repeat all of it later, which is what David Muir does. And he gets paid. Listen, I'm not criticizing. He gets paid millions of dollars to do that. Okay,
well,
that body part thing.
Imagine how many times I've heard that story now.
I can't. I can't, but you're really obsessed. I understand.
Yes.
With getting that damn car clean. Okay, the body part thing hit me in a way. I'm like, okay, they found an arm, a leg. They put Mr. Potato Head back together again. My legs are over there. My hands are over there. What the hell is going on? They think it's a woman that's been missing for a while?
Yeah, it's not a while recently, yeah. And they traced it back. But you had sent me that story and said, you see this? I said, I did. It started out as, just, this body part washed up. And then the next day, there's another one over in this park. And and he put it all all over the place in Milwaukee. So,
okay, think about the person who's sawing the person up. At some point, what goes on in the mind of these psychos where you're, okay, I'm just sawing a leg off.
And then a new blade is probably part of it. Because that'll dull it, I would think. But anyway.
Okay. All right, Ryan, we'll be here for you if you need us.
Yes. Sounds good.
We have to do a couple things. Let's talk about what you're putting in the prize package.
Well, so with that, hashtag embrace the suck is what we're going with.
I love it.
I think that's awesome. And Angus is not part of the giveaway, so move over, son. Here you go. We have this week some of our regular and, some of our best gifts come to us from our house band, Oh Yes, and that is a koozie, a bracelet, and your very own Oh Yes guitar pick. We have from Tracy from Wisconsin. Well, no, let's hold off on that. I've started throwing in these lens wipes because it's sunglass season and they're really handy. So some lens wipes. Ryan, actually, I think it was Hank who provided us with some just sundry stickers. This one is for hot sauce.
That's a sticker?
Yep.
You need a hot sauce sticker for what?
2 stickers. The bottle and the little hot sauce. What is it called? This is mule sauce. So we've got some stickers for mule sauce. I picked up a spatula recently, and we'll throw that in. That's from our friends at Black Diamond Heating, Cooling, and Air Conditioning. Heating, cooling, and air conditioning. No, it would be plumbing, heating, and air
8 a.m. in the morning.
Exactly. Twice. Gosh, damn it.
Yeah.
From Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectibles, who may be getting a new car that smells like vomit pretty soon. We've got a fortune-telling fish. The fish is inside there. It's very cool. It'll tell you your fortune. All the information's on the back. A big boy collector's card and a coin from a place called Riverview Amusement Park. And for people who are from Chicago, Riverview Amusement Park was quite the venue in its day. So that's kind of a cool collectible. Not kind of, it's a totally cool collectible. Tracy from Wisconsin, as always, brings us bendables and your very own ball liquor.
Nice.
Alan Delinka providing the refrigerator magnets. I'm a magnet winner. And finally, the prize that started it off. Top of the hour.
Top of the hour. News, traffic, weather, and sports back in 15.
Hashtag him. So who is that? PK Rebs, I think, is up here. Hashtag. I think you have to hashtag it. PKK Rebs. Hashtag embrace the suck. Hashtag embrace the suck. No spaces. I want you in on the drawing because last week we kind of cut it pretty close, and so a lot of people didn't get in on it, and there you
Quick
go.
Riverview story. So I'm at Riverview. I think it was one of my last times because I was a paper boy, and they had a thing where they brought all the paper boys to Riverview as a nice little get together.
That is kind of fun.
Yeah, little thing. And I'm standing in line at this roller coaster, and I feel something moving in my pockets, and it's the guy behind me, and he's got his hands in my pockets. He's trying to steal whatever is in my pockets, and
wait, but you're a little kid?
Yeah, and Riverview shut down about a year later.
Stealing what was in
whatever
your
he was
pocket
doing. Let me just put it this way: Riverview shut down a year later because it was completely out of control. Yeah,
got it.
Yeah. Good memories.
This is where they had a dunk tank that was probably one of the most racist things.
Oh yeah, it was called the African
created.
dip. It was black guys in the tank and mostly white guys, mostly military guys, and the black guys would taunt the white guys because the white guys would spend who knows how much to dunk the black guy because they were so pissed off because the black guy would make fun of the wife or the girlfriend with the white. Oh my God. It was, I know we're woke and it's better this way, kind of, but I'll tell you what, I think we were all having a better time back in the day. I got to say, what's going on now doesn't really appeal to me altogether.
You know, good things. We need to embrace the good
I'm not saying be racist, but the black guys, if they got a piece of the money from the people throwing the balls, they must have made a fortune.
I watched a documentary about sideshows and the fact that a lot of those so-called circus freaks were really upset when woke people of the day showed up and said, you cannot put those people on display. That's disgusting that you would. And they were like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. This is our livelihood.
Right.
I'm a woman. I have a beard and I'm making a bunch of money here. Don't screw with my livelihood.
We've jerked the wheel too hard the other way. You can't jerk it that hard.
No.
Right?
Anyway.
Look where I'm at.
We want to do. Somebody said we should go long. Well, we have to go long enough that you finish that and get down to the Luxardo.
We still have your stories.
So I'm only going to do the ones that we teased. I prepare a lot for the show, unlike
yes, you do. Most shows.
Other people out there. On the heels of the success of the Barbie movie, producer Margot Robbie and her team are working on a live-action film based on Monopoly. Sure, Monopoly is one of the world's most popular board games, but aside from rich Uncle Pennybags, the game really isn't character-driven, which has a lot of people wondering what kind of narrative we'll be seeing. But the folks at Lionsgate and Robbie's company, which is called Lucky Chap, they're assuring doubters that those behind the project have a clear point of view when it comes to the storyline. Meanwhile, the top brass at Hasbro are 100% behind the effort, says one of those execs. As one of the most iconic games in the world, Monopoly provides an incredible platform for storytelling opportunities. We are thrilled to have the unique vision of Lucky Champ and Lionsgate, Lucky Chap, that is, and Lionsgate alongside us to bring this historic piece of popular culture to the big screen.
Yeah, okay. Really, it's because of Barbie and Barbie making $1 billion. They'll do anything now with a game or some kind of icon from the early 60s.
And that's it. Hasbro's like, I don't know. Are they behind Twister? Anybody with any game is now going, Trouble. The game of life. I don't give a shit. Make a movie out of it.
Right.
So. The irony is how few movie theaters will have free. The irony is how few movie theaters will have free parking.
There you go. And nobody's giving get out of jail free cards. Oh, wait, a lot of places are getting.
Yeah, well, that's why there's so much crime.
Anyway, some investigative journalists have found out something a lot of us have suspected for a long time. The Washington Post investigation has discovered that some major food companies are hiring online dietitians and influencers to encourage folks to enjoy high-calorie, low-nutrition food, including the body positivity and anti-diet movements as cover. These nutritional hired guns are promoting the idea that no food should be labeled junk food or unhealthy because all food has value. And to question the eating habits of overweight people here in the US is just mean body shaming. As in all things related to the internet, those behind the reporting are suggesting that people absorbing this view this sort of information with a healthy dose of skepticism.
I'm on team embrace a good time. Really.
Well, there you go.
I've had it with all this bullshit already.
Person?
Embrace the suck. That's what I'm doing.
That's probably better. Do we want one more? Do we have, is everybody queued up?
Your call.
Let's do one more. Okay. Because we love nominative determinism on this show. And if you don't know the term, I'm going to explain it. There's a place in Thailand known as Death Island. And guess what? Someone just died there under suspicious circumstances. The body of a British backpacker who went missing following a pub crawl has been located. Theo Bailey was on holiday with his girlfriend when he simply vanished. His body was discovered later the following day in a storm drain. His cell phone was missing. An investigation is underway. The island where the incident took place is actually named Koh Tao, but it earned the name Death Island back in 2014 after two other British backpackers were bludgeoned to death following a run-in with a couple of local bartenders.
Stop. Okay, really. Doggy Boy says Slinky, the movie.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, Silly Putty,
I don't know.
the movie.
Here's the elevator pitch. There's this spring. He falls in love with another spring, and then someone comes and twists it the wrong way, and now he can't go downstairs without a care, and it costs so little to buy.
Silly Putty, you stretch it out and it can take pictures. You can put it on a piece of newspaper and it takes a picture, and then it'll run away if you don't put it back in its egg. I love it. Holy crap! What the hell?
The movie, exactly. Etch-a-Sketch.
What the hell? Etch-a-Sketch, the movie. Yeah, really, stop.
Turtle Bean, you're on a roll.
You're really. Our listeners, our viewers are hot tonight. They've come up with some gems. I love you. All right. Alan, you want to hit the button before I pass out?
Everyone knows it's Slinky.
Here we go.
Slinky. Wonderful toy.
Sally Dart. All right. Alan, tell Sally what to do.
Thanks for stopping by.
I'm looking for the right banner because I know what to do, but I want to put it on the screen. There we go. Sally, email Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com or text 773-888-2157.
Thanks for stopping by.
I got to stop that noise in my ear. Regular charges apply. There we go. Regular charges apply. Send your mailing address so that Leslie can get that stuff to the post office. And, you know, the post office does its thing. Maybe someday it'll get to you. Back to you, Garry.
We were talking over that little clip I did on the radio. You want to play it again?
LUP Chicago.
That's when I was doing all nights on a radio station in Chicago. I got to tell you, I was one of the happiest persons on the planet. I was making, I think at that time they were paying me $15,000 a year. Now this is back in the 70s, so it's relative. So I thought that was good. That was good money back then.
It wasn't.
I couldn't have been happier.
It was a healthy salary.
I could
right?
not have been
Like
happier. It was right. The all-night shift. Nobody was there as far as management and stuff. It was all your little cocoon, and all-night listeners were very loyal because they all worked the third shift. And I'm going to go out, sit on a rock, take my shoes off. I'm going to really cry. I'm going to sob tonight. I swear to God.
Embrace the stuff, Garry, and suck down that cherry while you're at it.
The cherry's gone. There's a little left.
That's the end of the show.
I am really okay. I apologize if there's any goo. I apologize. I'm really messed up right now.
And here's the deal. Next week, we're going to have a guest. And you are always on your best
I'll be
behavior.
fine for the guest, but it's this no guest thing where I don't feel I have to mind my manners.
Nope.
Alan, let's give away the cannoli while I still have some kind of brain waves connecting. It's delicious. Take it. There it is. What about the schnauzer, Leslie?
You can do whatever you want with your schnauzer, but don't embrace that all over deodorant thing. I'm not buying that at all. Just wash your schnauzer and let it air dry. There you
go. There we go. 3 in the green. Gear is down. Flaps are down. The voice of the globe, the GarrForce. We'll talk to you on Monday. We've landed.
And that's it for all the news and nonsense here at the GarrForce.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Thanks for streaming. Like, subscribe, and be kind. But no need to rewind. It sure would be terrific if you subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs.
If you're watching this show recorded, that button is right here. And if you'd like to look at past episodes, try that button.
Boom. Shakalaka.
That's it.
All right. How do you shut this thing off?